This is the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, the most accessible non-Ferrari Ferrari you and I can buy. And just listen to that noise. In front of me is a Ferrari-derived V6 engine, and the crazy thing is, there are 3 seats behind me as well. And much like a Ferrari, what Alfa does is, for a measly sum that starts from 420,000 dirhams, they give you the engine, and everything else is thrown in for free. That's a bold claim, isn't it? Well, let me try to explain why.
Yeah, I'm on a different level, different pedigree. Remember how you chose them instead of me? Huh? Look at me now. God had his hand on me.
Now, after you spend some time behind the wheel of the Quadrifoglio, you get the feeling that the Giulia was designed to serve one thing, which is this 2.9-liter V6 twin turbocharged engine. It's been designed by the same person who created the engine for the Ferrari 488. There are rumors saying that it is the same engine, but with 2 cylinders removed. Now that is a brag or a flex that's only reserved for the Giulia. And Alfa knows exactly how special that is, which is why nothing else in the car is allowed to get into the way of the pure thrill this engine is supposed to give you.
That's why you get carbon fiber on the bonnet, the side skirts and the rear spoiler. And in addition to that, you also get an active Aero splitter up front that adjusts electronically the faster you go. All of that to keep the weight down to around 1700 kilograms and to give it an almost 50-50 front to rear weight distribution. Behind the 19-inch wheels wrapped in Pirelli P0 Corsa tires sits iron Brembos, and you can also option it with carbon ceramic brakes that shaves off another 17 kilograms. And that noise you heard earlier, those come from quad exhausts at the rear.
Put all that together and you have a beautiful yet unassuming design that marks the Giulia apart from all of its rivals. And here's an Easter egg. This logo is reserved for the Quadrifoglio models. It's been a lucky charm for Alfa during its illustrious motorsport career that started from 1923.
For those who don't know, Alfa Romeo was in the racing scene long before Ferrari even existed. In fact, Enzo Ferrari started out as an Alfa driver. And the Giulia didn't let that reputation down, because in 2016, this model became the fastest 4-door saloon ever to go around the Nürburgring, clocking in 7 minutes and 32 seconds. That's Ferrari 458 territory.
So clearly the Giulia is serious about its racing pedigree and its intentions, and the interior is where it makes everything so much more evident. Starting with the start-stop button, which is placed on the steering wheel. It's very Ferrari-like. And then you have the sheer amount of carbon fiber trims that spread across the interior. It kind of shows the level to which Alfa has gone to save as much weight as possible, to a point where even the seats are made out of carbon fiber. But that doesn't mean that it does miss out on comfort features. The upholstery is made out of leather and Alcantara, and that's about it. It's only the bare essentials that you get with the car. Even the infotainment system, you get an 8.8-inch infotainment system that has just the essentials. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but it's wired. Then you have a digital instrument cluster.
And of course, when it comes to practicality, the cup holders can hold even wide 500 ml bottles, though the door pockets can't. And there's a wireless charger tucked far into the center console. Now, as for the rear, it is big enough for 6-footers, but it might seem a little cramped. And it's more of a 4-seater than a 5-seater because of the raised floor design at the back. But of course, you do get rear AC vents, so life at the back is tolerable, especially on longer journeys. As for the boot, barring the spare tire, the Giulia can hold up to 480 liters of cargo.
You know, despite it being a focused sports sedan, the ride is surprisingly soft. It doesn't use any fancy adaptive air suspensions. It just uses a good old-fashioned double wishbone suspensions at the front and rear independent suspensions. The ride is so soft because it uses soft active dampers. You can of course turn them off if you need when you're in dynamic mode. And of course you have a lot of driver assistance features like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and everything else that's now listed down on your screen that helps you on your daily commute on the highway. But that's not what we're here to find out. We are here to find out the true potential of this car. By the way, the drive modes are named D and A. D for dynamic, N for natural, and A for advanced efficiency. And it does exactly what the names suggest. Now I'm going to turn the car into dynamic mode. So what that does is sharpens up the throttle response, stiffens the steering wheel. And this is the sort of mode that you use to impress your friends, your co-passengers basically. And in here you can also switch off the soft active dampers and make the ride a bit more stiffer, a bit more focused. The steering wheel is razor sharp, and the slightest input almost shifts you from one lane to another.
And that's because the Giulia steering ratio is 11.8:1, which is not just the most direct in its class, but it's also quicker than a lot of other sports cars.
And even the engine is extremely rev happy. It revs all the way up to 7,000 RPM before it shifts up automatically. The torque delivery in the low end is a bit slow, but once it's up there, it's a hoot. You know this car is designed for the circuit. Now it's time for us to activate the race mode and see what it's truly like. Right, so for that, I would need to bring the car to a full halt, activate the race mode, and that asks me to disable all the driver assistance features like forward collision warning. It's almost like a waiver form that you have to sign. I'm now slowly pushing the pedal, and already I can hear the exhaust valve opening up and just breathing. Listen to the way it downshifts. 8-speed ZF gearbox is extremely responsive. It upshifts exactly the moment I want it to. I love the feel of the aluminum pedals.
In race mode, the transmission shifts in 150 milliseconds.
Now in race mode, all that 510 horsepower and 600 Newton meters comes to life. Alfa claims that the Giulia Quadrifoglio can do the 0 to 100 sprint in 3.9 seconds.
And we did it in 4.3 seconds.
That's properly quick. This is where Alfa has come alive.
There's also an electric brain called chassis domain control that quietly manages the suspension, the splitter, the brakes, the steering, and the diff all at once.
Oh, it's an extremely playful car, this. No doubt about it. 420,000 dirhams. Worth every penny.
You know what else has a big price tag? Your fuel bills.
It's not efficient at all. I burned through almost half a tank of fuel in just 20 minutes of driving aggressively.
But that's only when you push the car. The Giulia's engine in fact has the ability to shut down half its cylinders when it's just cruising normally, thereby claiming that it can do up to 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers according to WLTP.
If the Giulia Quadrifoglio is so much fun, then why is it that we don't see them more often? Well, it's got one major problem. Alfa Romeos have always been known to be mechanically unreliable, and because of the Ferrari-derived engine, their maintenance costs were also on the higher side. But experts do say that if the Giulia Quadrifoglio is maintained properly and it's given the right amount of love and care, then it will last you a really long time. But the Giulia does have a few electrical issues. Take the infotainment system for example. It just stops working randomly. And if you're trying to get one here in this region, then the air conditioning seems like it just can't hold up to the heat of the region. But that's just Alfa Romeo being themselves. If you've ever owned one or driven one before, then you know exactly what I mean. And the Giulia Quadrifoglio is exactly that. It's a modern car with modern problems, but with the same spirit and the same likability that Alfas are always known for. But in my humble opinion, I would rather say that you lease the car or rent it from the SelfDrive app. That way you'll get a first-hand experience of what living with this car would feel like. And that was our thoughts of the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. If you like this video, do remember to subscribe to the OTO Drive channel and do follow us on all our social media pages because that's another great way to stay in track with all our latest content. Until we see you next time with a brand new car, this is Philip signing off. You've been watching OTO Drive, powered by SelfDrive.